The bro boss, power suit princess.
The boss that only talks about themselves.
1, do you have a worst boss story? Tell us below. 2, do you have a top tier terrible trait of a boss? Tell us below. The buddy boss. Leadership. What does it mean? What's a good manager? How do you know if you're being a good manager? How do you know if you're being an arrogant piece of shit? I don't know. Do you have a story of a time when the boss was an absolute lunatic? I have several. We'll share them later. They're from old job. We are reviewing the qualities and the archetypes of terrible bosses. Unfortunately, because we need our day jobs, we can't talk about anything in our current positions, if we even had any qualms.
Which we don't.
My number 1 archetype of a terrible boss is the quote, but that's not gonna work boss. This person shuts down any new idea before it even gets off the ground because they are either 1, obsessed with maintaining the status quo, or 2, they don't want anybody underneath them to have a good idea and potentially threaten their position.
So I'm going to bounce back off of that with the worst habits in a boss. When your boss takes credit for your ideas. You tell them a good
That's mine
idea.
now.
Yeah, it's mine now. I'm going to roll this out.
Write down your ideas, people. Write them down, date them, and
Date
save
them. Yeah.
Another archetype of a terrible boss is the quote, if it's not broke, don't fix it. This is very similar to the it's not going to work boss, but their motivation is a strict adherence to keeping it old school. They want to do all the traditional things. They don't want any deviation from just their standard operating practices, will not even entertain it.
It's when they are indecisive and wishy-washy.
Just tell me what to do so I know what to do so you can leave me alone. Another archetype of a terrible boss is the space cadet. This manager obviously cannot do the frontline job, has no real concept of what is happening at the ground level, and just sort of floats around in meeting land.
The worst type of boss could potentially be the one that never has been in your shoes.
These
Never
are
done what
lining
you've
up
done.
so weirdly, and we did
Really?
not plan them together.
That's so funny. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like they don't have the experience of who they're managing, yet they're managing them. And it's quite annoying sometimes.
And they don't take the time to learn if they're coming from the outside.
Yes. Yes.
Next archetype of a terrible boss is the buddy boss. They say, I'll be your friend now, but the second that you do something that I don't like, I will publicly ostracize you.
Yep.
I forgot also, as seen in the buddy boss, they will want to be friends with you outside of work and have a personal relationship with you. But then if you fuck up in either realm, personal or work, it muddies the whole thing. Like it ruins all of it. So if you personally do something they don't like, or you don't invite them to something they think they should have been invited to, then they give you the cold shoulder at work.
The gossipy manager.
You can't gossip down. You can gossip laterally or up, but you can't gossip down.
Yeah.
And if you're gossiping up, the one you're gossiping up to really shouldn't gossip back down to you.
You just shouldn't. You just lateral only.
It's true. It's true. But if you want to test out your supervisor, try to get them to engage. Next on the archetype of terrible bosses, we have the bro boss. The bro boss seems real fun, but beware the bro boss who is pretending to be one of the guys. This is specifically male. Pretending to be one of the guys and one of the bros because of his male insecurity, and he will pander / patronize you as a woman. And also, if you're a man, he will knife you in the back at the first opportunity because he is insecure and you are comfortable and competent.
Oh my. That's spot on. The boss that only talks about themselves. Me.
So we have the silly supervisor. Constant jokes, no real substance, incapable of making a difficult decision, floats around the job like everything is a joke, and makes respecting them impossible.
The people, as in the bosses, who take everything personally. I mean, like everything. So personal.
Butthurt boss. I didn't have that, but that's the type. So we had the bro boss, which was the male. His female counterpart is the power suit princess.
Yes.
She is struggling with imposter syndrome, so she will do anything she can to dress for success. Can be a good strategy. However, she is so insecure, and you need to beware the over-polished exterior because her supervision style one day is going to be lax and the next day it's going to be tyrannical. And don't worry, no matter what, you did something wrong.
Which leads me perfectly into one of the worst habits in a boss, and that is leading with fear and creating a fear-based environment or an unstable environment. The manipulative, do you have that on your list? When they say things like, this is embarrassing, do better, this is unacceptable. And then the next email's like, this is the team that could do it. If there was ever a team, it's you guys.
The buzzword boss. They love the new tips. They love the new gimmicks. They use words like synergy. They want to do trust falls. They saw something they want to try out on TikTok.
They want to be a guru.
Yes, everything is a gimmick. Everything is trendy. All of it's fluff.
The bosses that expect you to do their own work for them and call it delegating.
Weaponized incompetence. We have the meetings manager. All they do is accomplish nothing more than clogging up your calendar with meetings and more meetings and then pre-planning for meetings. And if they weren't there, you would probably get more done because all they accomplish are meetings.
The bosses that take 48 hours to respond to emails. Like not on the weekends, 48 hours. I mean like business days, 48 plus hours. And then it's even worse when they haven't responded to your pressing urgent email and then they're sending all these other emails. I'm like, to respond to mine.
The son or daughter, aka the nepotism ninny. You can't call them out because, again, they're the son or daughter of the owner and they'll go running to mommy and daddy, but they are spoiled. They've never been told no. They have a fancy business degree from a fancy school that they only attended on their alumni privileges and they know nothing, but they want immediate respect. And then anybody close to retirement is going to immediately excuse themselves from this mess because it's just intolerable. And until next time, we'll see you next week and I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.